All right, so you've gotten the kids down to sleep, the house is quiet, but you yourself have not been able to quiet your brain, quiet your mind, and been able to calm down. Why is this? A lot of us parents, we really do kind of struggle with this. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit of just about the reasons why this is and what's kind of going on, just so you have a little bit of an understanding of what's kind of going on within your body and your mind, and why I push the things that I do in terms of how we can kind of deal with some of this stuff. So essentially what we're doing there is our nervous system is on high alert. We get into this point of being, kind of fight or flight. And sometimes, unfortunately, for some of us, it's a constant thing. We're in this constant state of anxiety over the course of the day. And this carries over when we get into the evening hours, largely because we're not effectively managing a number of things. The reason why we get into this point of fight or flight is just, it's simply because we're under a state of constant stress and anxiety. And I mean, honestly, when we think about it, I mean, we can see the reasons why. Work is stressful for a lot of us. A lot of people, vast majority of people are not working in fields and we're not working in jobs in which they really enjoy. They don't really enjoy their jobs. And so work itself is a source of stress on top of whatever additional stress it brings from the job itself. And so you take all of that and then you carry it over to when we come home from work. A lot of times we're coming home to the chaos of the evening, where we've got homework that we got to take care of. Then we've got dinner, we've got bath, we've got, bedtime, all of these things that we're trying to do. On top of, as parents, we're trying to squeeze in a little bit of quality time with our kids. We want to spend time with our spouse and our family and our kids. And something that often gets overlooked is the fact that a lot of times, because we're not able to spend as much time with our family as we want to, that in and of itself is a form of stress. That adds to it. And so then we see these great big spikes in cortisol, which is a stress hormone, that carry on throughout the entire day, because it starts the moment we wake up, because a lot of us are waking up in kind of a stress induced state, because we're waking up to an alarm. We're not able to naturally wake up, and our body's not able to wake up as it wants to. We're being woken up because of some blaring noise that is telling us that it's time to become more alert and time to wake up. And then hopefully we're not running behind, because if we're running behind and we're running late, then the whole morning starts off in this state of high stress and high anxiety. And that carries over. I think we've all kind of experienced it before, where you start off having a bad day, and then you just know, this is what my day is going to look like. I started off on the wrong foot, and the entire day is going to end up like this. And a lot of times that's the case. Unless we're able to do something to kind of get it reset, which you can do. You can do any kind of the reset stuff that I talked about yesterday. A nervous system reset. You can do those things at any point in the day to be able to kind of wind down a little bit, and it can be very effective. And so check out that video if you're interested in that. But this is the problem that we find ourselves, is that we go through our entire day in a state of high stress, and it carries over into the night. And then we're not able to effectively de-stress and let go of a lot of that before we're trying to lay down and go to sleep. And then before we know it, we get into this terrible cycle where, because we're not able to get to sleep, we're stressing over that. Then we're stressing over the fact that it's been okay. It's, what, I laid down an hour ago and here I am, it's 11 o'clock. I wanted to go to bed by 10 and I'm still awake, and I've got to wake up early tomorrow to start all over again. And so it becomes very difficult and very problematic very quickly, and it snowballs out of control. So then we look and see, okay, what do we do about this? This is where we make sure that we're taking that time to de-stress, do things that are a little bit more relaxing, as much as we can, squeeze in those little bits of time here and there as much as possible. And it's hard to kind of explain it all in just in a relatively short video, but it's prioritizing some of that, making sure that at the end of the day you're doing things to wind down and calm down your body, calm down your mind, because that's what's going to set us up to be able to get a good night of sleep. And here's the trick, is if you're able to get a good quality night of sleep, you're going to be able to deal better with those stresses in the following day. That's the thing that we often overlook, is that stress itself is something that we can manage much better if we're well rested. And this is the reason why I prioritize sleep so much with so many people that I work with, is because it has a carryover effect to everything. So, that being said, go ahead, prioritize taking some time to unwind, taking some time to rest a little bit at the end of the day, so that you can set yourself up for a good night of sleep, which will in turn set yourself up for having a good day tomorrow.